All right, so we've got some pavers here on my steps, and this one is loose. You can hear the difference in them, so we're going to go ahead and take care of it. Very simple to do. We're going to pull off the paver. We're going to clean it up. We're going to use some landscape Loctite to glue it back down, put some polymeric sand in between the joints with a little bit of water, let it sit, cure for about 48 hours. Should be good to go. So depending on how loose your paver is, you want to be very careful not to break it if you are pulling it off, because one side might be heavily glued and adhered to it while this is the loose side. So before we do anything, this one looks, well, this one just comes right off. All right, so that's easy. I didn't even need to use a pry bar or screwdriver, but this just comes right up, and you can see where the glue that is no longer adhering to it is. So we'll clean this up a little bit, put it right back down on top of that. All right, now we'll scrape this off a little bit. Not gonna go too crazy with it, but just enough to get a little bit off, see if it'll come off easier. And I am gonna use a screwdriver for this. I'm just gonna take a little rubber mallet here and hammer it down. And now we're going to use something called polymeric sand, which simply is going to sit in between the pavers. We're going to put some water on it, and that will help keep it nice and sealed. Now, ideally, you want to have a brush to be able to brush this in between, but I'm just going to use my finger since it's only one paver. If you were doing this with the entire area, then you would want to get a broom and push this in, but you can't see, I'm just wedging it in the grooves and letting it fall down and then putting a little bit more in there. We're going to do that all the way around. But as we're rubbing it down, it's still creating this gap right here, so we just want to keep filling that in until it's full. And do that all the way around each part of it. What you can also do is grab your flathead screwdriver and kind of pack it down around the edges, and that'll help break off any of the old glue or polymeric sand that might have been on the edges that's preventing it from going under. You get the idea here. We're just trying to make it nice and tight. Now you do want to make sure you get all the sand off of the paver, because otherwise when you go to wet it, then whatever's left on top is also going to be dry, and it'll harden on top of the paver, and you don't want that. Now I just got a wet paper towel because I don't need a lot. Run it along. It's nice and sunny, so this should dry quickly. Now we let that sit for about 30 seconds, and then we'll do it again. You want to make sure that the sand says is about 1/8 from the top of the pavers. Basically, you want, like, just like your grout, a small groove or a small dip in them. All right, so that should be good. We're gonna put the weight back on it. Tell my kids not to step on it, and that should be good to go.